everybody, it's me, Dr. Q, and I'm here to tell you the best way to ride a horse is naked. That's right, naked. No, not you be naked, silly, but for the horse to be naked, right? So I'm going to teach you 3 easy steps on how to ride a horse, any horse by anyone. But first, stay to the very end of this video. I'm going to have a special link just for you to a free gift that's going to really improve the relationship that you have with your horses. But in the meantime, who am I? Why should you listen to me? Well, I'm Dr. Gina Queston. Also, they call me Dr. Q. I'm a veterinarian with over 20 years of experience. I'm also a professional animal trainer. So what does that mean to you? Well, it means that I'm going to bring a little bit of science in here into the world of animal training for one. And for two, you are not going to find anybody that has more passion for understanding how to build an amazing relationship with horses than I do. Because I'm one of those people, maybe like you, that just the very idea of horses or anything bad happening to them or just opportunity to be close and to be around them is so amazing that it just fills your heart with joy, makes your heart beat faster. The idea of anything happening to them just puts a hit of grief in your stomach instantly because you love them so much. So if that is you and that describes you, you are definitely in the right place. And follow along while I give you my 3 steps to how to ride a horse. Okay, everybody, we're ready for step 1 of how to ride a horse naked. Remember, you're not naked, the horse is naked, just like Caesar here. So the first thing that we're going to do, if we're going to ride Caesar, is we're going to fully groom him, but with him naked. So what that means is, I don't want you to go put a halter and lead rope and go catch the horse. I want the horse to catch you, right? I want them to come to you, be willing to be there. See, look at that. He could go out there and be with his friends, or he could be ignoring me, but notice he's right here. It's like he's saying, sure, I'm in for the game. That's what you're looking for. You don't want to approach this horse until he's here, she's here, and they are showing interest in wanting to be with you. And if they are, then you know you're ready to go on to the next step, which in this case is grooming naked. So we're going to go ahead and show you what that looks like, and we'll pick up in just a minute. All right, so this is what it looks like to groom naked. So first of all, we don't catch the horse catches us. So you'll notice that he has the opportunity to leave. He can go out into the round pen that's out there. If he really wanted to leave, he could go out there and be with his friends, but he's not doing any of that. He's excited about being here. Notice we don't have any food, right? We don't have any food on our trainers when we're doing training like this. So this is all him just volunteering himself to want to interact. This is what you're looking for. So you do not interact with the horse. You do not go into the corral with the horse and start grooming them until they come to you and they quietly stay by you while you fully groom them from top to bottom, just like this. So of course you're going to start with your curry comb, depending on if it's a soft curry, if it's summertime they have a thin coat, or something more firm in the wintertime when they have big heavy coats like these guys have right now. So let's just go ahead and watch as Caesar gets groomed. Okay, so he did a great job with that. So now we went ahead and moved to phase 2 of grooming, which is going to be your dandy brush and your soft brush. So it's going to be a brush that's a little bit firmer, and then a soft brush. And then we love how we're seeing the correct technique here. So with the firmer bristled brush, what you are trying to do is sort of flick the dirt off. So you want to use a quick flicking motion with your hand, more like that, exactly. And you do 1 flick with the dandy brush, the hard brush, and then 1 smooth stroke with the soft brush. So it's flick and then smooth, flick and then smooth. So Patty, so when your little flick move, only move about 5 or 6 inches on his coat. And then the soft brush, you can move 6 inches. So the movement is going to be different with your 2 hands. So you're going to do quick and then smooth further. Quick. So see how you went quick with that one again? So practice doing just quick flicks with the firmer brush, and then the soft brush afterwards, long stroke there. And so you're just going to be moving all around his body. And again, he is free to come and go. He's got a little bit of grass hay and alfalfa hay here to kind of keep him busy. and relaxed and chewing, because a chewing horse is a happy horse and much less likely to get anxious. But the most important thing is, remember, we are not going to go get this horse. We're not going to put a halter and lead rope and bring him in, tie him up. We are going to allow him to have the choice to be a part of this grooming session. And if you'll notice, he's sort of chewing and relaxed. He's not like shifting his weight or acting scared or uncomfortable or anything like that. And so he's giving us all the perfect signals to tell us that he is fine and relaxed for us to continue with what we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and groom the whole rest of his body and then go on to the next part of the grooming process. Okay, so in the wintertime when these guys are dirty, it can be pretty hard to get them totally clean. But now we see the correct technique with flicking, and then smooth with the soft brush, and then flicking with our firmer brush, and then smooth with the soft brush. So you're just going to move across his whole body. If the horse walks off, you're not going to chase them. They have the right to leave if they would like. Everybody has a right to be safe in their own safety circle. So we're just going to move all around his body. Only use the soft brush on his lower legs and all those places where he's kind of sensitive. And so he got real interested in something and got nervous, and so he's leaving. So that's no problem. So what we want to do in this situation is we want to acknowledge whatever it is that's concerning him. So we want to go, hey, what's going on, Caesar? You want to make sure that there's not a stranger walking around out there, or a dog having, some kind of a problem on the ranch, something like that. A stranger might have pulled up in a car. And maybe the electric company just showed up because there's a problem out there. So if your horse is relaxed 1 minute and then gets nervous the next minute and starts looking around, you definitely want to go ahead and acknowledge and go and see what it is that is bothering them. Okay, that is going to be the best way to preserve your relationship and respond to them walking off. Okay, so it's kind of lucky for us that he did that just then. So we just want to reassure him that everything's okay. He doesn't have to be the boss. We looked around. We kind of determined there's nothing to be startled about. Okay, and then we're going to just come on back in here and just relax and go back to normal. And I think now would be a good time to change the frame, as I say, move on to another lesson, which in this case would be putting those kinds of brushes down and coming in and trading those out for a mane brush and seeing if he'll let us comb out his mane. Okay, so we invited him to come back in here using a target, and now we're combing out his mane. And he doesn't like that, and he left again, so he's very seriously concerned about whatever is going on over here. So that means we really need to reassess our entire situation so that we can get this horse to relax, because there's nothing out there for him to be afraid of. And so we need to get his attention, if at all possible, if we're going to continue this grooming session, by upping the ante on making ourselves way more interesting than whatever is out there. And so standing there looking at him is not helping him with that. So I would say, we could go get a hula hoop and we could jog around in there and just be weird right now and change the frame and have a completely different set of circumstances going on, and that might make a lot of difference. Okay, so we contemplated different ways that we could try to bring him back over here. And while we were thinking about it and talking about it, he just decided to come back. So now we're just going to go ahead and carefully resume what we were doing, which is the grooming. So he's back sort of at our area where he knows that we want to do the grooming. He's obviously still nervous. His nose is way above the line. And if you don't know what that is, take my horse relationship building masterclass and you will find out. But really, he's obviously not as relaxed as he was earlier. And so that does make it a little bit dangerous for us to be on the same side of the fence with him. And so, good. Now he's thinking about relaxing. He did put his head down. Good boy. So, yeah. So we have to acknowledge that he definitely was communicating that he was nervous. And that's okay, because now he has the opportunity to leave if he wants to, which he did. And we might even go ahead and let him out that other corral door as well. All right, so we went ahead and let Oliver's friends that were separated from him come on in. And that helped Caesar to settle right on down. So now we're going to resume where we were with our naked grooming, okay? Our naked grooming. So again, it's not you that's naked, it's the horse that's naked. And are we having fun so far? I think that this is the most amazing thing that you are going to really appreciate, taking the time to actually do this with your horse. Give them the time that they need, no matter how much time it takes. Grooming your horse naked might take you 5 minutes. It might take you an hour. If it's a brand new horse, it's a wild Mustang or something, it could take you weeks. That's okay. This is the very first step to riding your horse. And don't you really just want to have the most amazing relationship with this animal that you possibly can? And that's the most important thing, right? Is that relationship. So the best way to have that relationship right from the get-go is to start by grooming them naked. Okay, everybody, so we've done preening, we've done brushing, we've combed out his mane and tail. So the only thing that's left is hoof picking, right? So around here at the Rescue Ranch, we do something what we call hoof lift, where we're working on teaching all of the horses to just lift their leg with a signal. Some of the horses are better at it than others. We can show you that in another video. But right now, I'd just like to take a moment to say that if you are enjoying this video, will you please like it right now? Just go ahead and open your screen and touch that button. And also subscribe if you're having fun here, because that's what we're all about, is not only learning the most amazing way to train horses that's super easy and anybody can do it, but also it's going to be the way to really create that magical magic bond with your horse that everybody dreams about and watches horse movies about, but you can experience too. You can experience it too, and I'm here to show you how. So let's move on to picking his hoofs so that we can get on to the riding. So first, I'm just going to kind of check in with him, make sure he's still staying nice and relaxed. Notice his head's a little, I'm going to constantly be encouraging him to get his nose kind of below the line. You don't want to work with our horses when their head's way up here. Plus, we have to trust each other, right? So he's going to have to trust me that I'm not going to hurt him or do anything crazy when he's standing on 3 legs. Okay, that's right. This is right. Okay, so first of all, recognize that them lifting their legs up for you requires a lot of trust and bonding. And I always like to start with the left front leg. Look at him lifting already. So I haven't even done anything, but you see how he's offering that behavior? Is he knows it's coming, because it's not like he's dumb. He knows I have a hoof pick. He's like, come on, stop talking, man. Stop talking, pick my feet so I can get a treat. So some of you might have thought that he was trying to fight just then. And I don't interpret it as that he was trying to bite. I think that he was simply trying to encourage me to get on and move with the program. Now, I did ask him twice really gently to lift his leg, and he didn't. Tell him to move on to another leg. Now he did it. Okay, so I'm going to ask again, because again, this kind of training, you're going to ask twice. That's all you're going to do. You're only going to ask twice. And if he doesn't do it, you're going to move on to something else. So notice he's offering me kind of some other behaviors. And I don't really love that, because I didn't ask for him to make my face. I asked for him to lift. So just gently running my hand down his leg so he can move the point. And last but not least, good boy! Yes. Good boy. So he was offering me this one all along. And so when I finally got to that foot, he gave it to me and did it in a really super amazing way. So this is picking out his feet. Wasn't here, and he offered, and he was so good. Good to one hand down. God, boy. Oh, aren't you the best? He's the best. Anybody see how how good he is. He did so good. Oh my God. Make sure you throw a party for them. Let them know how much you love them. Let them know how much you appreciate them doing things for you. Don't get mad at them because the other 3 legs were hard. Love him because this leg was easy. Okay, now we're gonna go back around to the other side. So I'm just gonna check in with him again and just make sure he's staying nice and relaxed, which he is. Now keep in mind, asking a horse to hoof lift with just a touch like that is very advanced. Yes, it is. And that makes him know how his homework today. So what we want to do is go ahead and ask him to pick his feet a more traditional way that he's kind of more used to. I'd love to spend time teaching him and spending more time practicing. But for right now, let's see if we can just go ahead and get his feet picked. Because getting his feet picked is actually really important for his health, right? Safety first. We got to make sure there's no rocks or anything in his feet. That time. Okay, you noticed that he wasn't really that good that time. Okay, yeah, like he did it, but what I didn't want to do is let go of his foot and teach him to get away with like ripping his foot away from me. I would have to do that if he did that at a level of a 5 or greater, but because it was like 4 to 5, he wasn't really trying, but he certainly was sort of acting up. And so notice also now he's doing weird behaviors here, so he's getting anxious about this whole process of getting a feet picked. So mentally and emotionally, he is warning me right now that he's really not feeling super comfortable with what's happening. So I need to stop what I'm doing right now, change the frame, change up the situation, do something different with him, let him build his confidence back up again, and then go ahead and try to continue the lesson after that. So when you're waiting around the horse, so just like then, keep in mind that pressure scale that I always teach, the 1 to 10 pressure scale. And so there, I did have to do about a 2 or a 3 level pressure to get through the gate. And so as long as that's okay, then I probably can go ahead and move back in there with him. But also you always want to be aware of that, because if it's over 5, if you have to touch the horse or the horse touches you with a 5 or more in the pressure scale while you're trying to move through a gate with them, do not get back in the corral with them. Work with them in what we call protected contact. So what does that mean? What can you do? Well, if a horse is target trained like he is, there's a lot you can do. So let me show you what that looks like right now. So here at the ResqRanch, all of our horses are target and clicker trained, okay? And what that does is it gives us a tool, a different tool to use at a time like this when things aren't really going the way we want them to go. So traditionally what you might want to do in this situation is you want to think about, well, I'm going to lunge him, I'm going to lunge the heck out of him, I'm going to round pen him. Okay, well, we don't do none of that round penning around here, okay? It's not like that. We love these guys, right? We love them. We don't want to chase them around and beat them up and scare them, okay? They're not going to learn. Nobody ever learned anything being chased around and scared, right? I mean, that is not the way to build a relationship with your best friend that you love, right? So instead, there's another thing that we can do in this case, which is target train. Hey, Caesar. So I'm going to ask him a little bit over here to see if he'll come around, and he doesn't want to, so I'll make it easier on him, right? I mean, people, this is just a horse, right? He has no choice in what he eats, where he lives, what happens to him, who does stuff to him. I mean, this horse was actually rounded up out of the wild, chased, separated from his mother and his family. He has trauma, okay? A lot of horses have trauma. And so you have to give them the space that they need, just like any person, anybody that you ran into your life that's had terrible experiences, and give them some grace to understand that they need some space sometimes, and we don't always have to ask them to do whatever we want right in that minute, right? Give them a chance and it'll pay off dividends in the end, I promise, where it gets easier and easier as they build more and more trust with you. So notice he was trying to touch me, and I didn't really respond to that because, again, his head was really high above the line, right? But what I did here just now, I don't know if you guys heard that. Did you hear him go? Okay, he took a little breath. Okay, so up to now, he was holding his breath. Right? He wasn't really breathing. He got really nervous about the hoof picking. He was nervous about that. So if your horse is nervous about that, you need to give them the space to build that trust and allow them to feel comfortable communicating to you that they don't feel necessarily comfortable with that in that moment. Change the frame, leave the corral, try to do something else with them, kick a ball around, something like that. But the bottom line is just listen carefully. They're always communicating to you if you just are willing to listen. So I'm giving him me to touch the target. He doesn't want to. And so, well, maybe he does. Do you want to touch it up here? He goes, oh, I just didn't maybe want to touch it so low. Good boy. Very good. Okay, so right there in that moment, we had complete change of his emotional state. Okay, so the whole time that you're doing any training with this animal, any animals for that matter, you always want to be monitoring and changing their emotional state to be something that's more positive, right? So he didn't want to touch the target because he just wasn't associating that with like feeling good right at the moment, right? And then finally he did, and now he got a little treat. So we'll see how that responds. So he might just begin to breathe more and relax and allow us to maybe do a couple more tricks and a couple more behaviors with him. You want to do some more? You want to do that? You want to do something else? And you see how he doesn't really want to, and his head's pretty much, well, maybe far above the line. Ooh, good boy. So I'm going to make him work for it now, just a little bit, okay? Because he's also getting really stuck, right? I don't know if you guys noticed that, but he's like standing there and he doesn't want to move. So I'm going to try to see if I can convince him to take a couple of steps, because motion always increases your emotional state. Movement. So you always want to have a really happy, great, high vibrate emotional state yourself. So make sure you're smiling, make sure you're having a good time, make sure that this is like the best day of your life ever because I'm around a horse, right? Yes, I'm so lucky, right? And then he's gonna go, oh, you think you're lucky being around me? And so I love that he's putting his head through the fence and everything. But what I do love is the fact that all of a sudden this animal really wants to engage with me. Do you see how quickly I changed his emotional state? Way faster than spending 30 minutes running him around a round pen, right? You saw me totally change his whole thinking in a really short amount of time. That's why this kind of training is the fastest kind of training that you can do, because you don't need to run him around a round. So now that he's continuing to offer all these little silly behaviors, can you please play with me? Please do something with me. I really, really want to earn a chance to get another treat. Guess what? You can. I'm going to pick your feet. Ha. Good boy. Oh, did anybody see how smart and wonderful he was? Oh, good boy. Oh, yes. Good boy. So make a big party for him. Because wasn't that the coolest thing ever, you guys? I mean, come on. We're so lucky to be around horses. We're so lucky to have horses. We're so lucky horses are even a thing to have on a poster or a bridle horse in your house because they're such magnificent animals and we're so lucky that they are a real life thing and not like unicorns or something that don't exist. Not the book. So I'm going to give you a moment. Okay, everybody, so that was part 1 of how to ride a horse. So how do you ride a horse first? Well, you get them to come in to be with you without a halter or lead rope. You groom them totally from top to bottom without them being tied up or anything like that. And if they get frightened and move away, I showed you how to handle that. And also if they act a little bit too crazy, then that's when you want to get out of the fence and not encourage that kind of behavior. But again, I hope you got to see how quickly I changed his emotional state. Are you laughing at me? I think he's laughing at me, you guys. I think he's laughing. He says, I could have done it really fast if you guys hadn't been videoing me, but because you're videoing me, I decided to make it hard for you. Okay, so I do have a free gift for you down below, and then also check in, subscribe, and like this video so that we can show you part 2 next week. Next week, we'll have part 2 of 3 of how to ride a horse. So on that note, I'm Dr. 2, here to help you have the most amazing relationship with all the animals in your life like you never dreamed possible. So if you love animals like you can live without them, then you are absolutely in the right place. So tune in and we'll see you right here next time.